Tom worked quickly to activate the ship's defense systems. "I'm trying, but they're overwhelming us." Just then, a massive ship appeared overhead, its dark silhouette blocking out the sun. It hovered ominously, casting a shadow over the battlefield. "This must be their command ship," Rad shouted, pointing. Maya felt a surge of rage. They had come to help, not to be attacked. "We need to strike back. We can't let them take this planet." With quick thinking, Mia devised a plan. "Tom, target their ship's engines. Sarah, prepare for evasive maneuvers." The crew sprang into action, coordinating their efforts. As Tom fired at the command ship, it shuddered under the impact. The aliens were caught off guard, and Mia seized the opportunity. "Now, charge in," Mia commanded, leading her team back into the fight. The crew of the Unity fought valiantly, pushing back against the attackers. As they battled, Maya felt a fierce determination within her. They were no longer just explorers. They were warriors defending the innocent. With each enemy they took down, hope flickered back into the eyes of the colonists. After what felt like hours, the tide began to turn. The alien fighters retreated, their command ship heavily damaged. The crew of the Unity stood together, their faces grim but triumphant. "Is everyone okay?" Maya asked, her heart racing. "We made it," Sarah said, panting heavily. "But we need to regroup." The war that had begun so unexpectedly had brought them together. They were no longer just a crew. They had become a family, bound by a shared purpose. Maya looked out at the destruction and destruction, her resolve strengthening. "This is only the beginning. We will fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. We will not back down." As the sun set on Zorath 4, the crew of the Unity knew that their journey was far from over. They were ready for whatever challenges lay ahead, united in their mission to protect and explore the galaxy. The first battle. In the aftermath of the fierce skirmish on Zorath 4, the crew of the Unity took a moment to catch their breath. The planet was still smoldering, but the immediate danger had passed. Captain Leah Trent surveyed the area, her heart heavy with the weight of their recent battle. The cries of the wounded echoed in her ears, reminding her of the urgency of their mission. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the crew gathered around a small group of survivors. They were frightened and confused, their homes in ruins, but there was a spark of hope in their eyes as they saw the Unity and its brave crew. Maya stepped forward, determined to offer them comfort. "We're here to help," she said gently. "Can you tell us what happened? Who attacked you?" One of the survivors, a tall man with dirt-streaked skin and deep lines etched on his face, stepped forward. "They came out of nowhere," he said, his voice shaking. "We thought we were safe. They demanded our resources, and when we refused, they attacked. They are ruthless." Mia nodded, her mind racing. The attack was not random. It was a calculated move to seize control. "What do you know about them?" she pressed. "Their leader is known as Korak," the man replied. "He's a feared warlord among the stars. He seeks to conquer and enslave planets. If he comes here again, we won't survive." The crew exchanged glances, a mix of fear and determination evident on their faces. Maya felt a fire ignite within her. "We can't let Korak take this planet or any others. We need to fight back." Dr. Raj Patel, ever the voice of reason, interjected. "But Captain, we're not equipped for a full-scale war. We need to gather intelligence and plan our next move carefully." Mia nodded, understanding his concerns. "You're right. We need to gather as much information as we can, but we can't abandon these people." Sarah Lopez, the ship's pilot, stepped forward. "Perhaps we can set up a defensive perimeter around the colony. We can use the Unity as a base while we organize a defense." Mia smiled, appreciating her crew's resilience. "That's a good idea, Sarah. Let's move the survivors to the ship for safety. We'll regroup there and make our plans." The crew sprang into action, helping the survivors aboard the Unity. The ship's medical team tended to the wounded, and Maya felt a sense of purpose. They were not just explorers anymore. They were protectors. Once everyone was safely on board, Mia called an emergency meeting. The command center buzzed with energy as the crew assembled. "We need to strategize," she began, her voice firm. "Korak won't give up easily, and we need to be ready for him." Raj pulled up a holographic map of Zorath 4. "If we can gather intelligence on their forces, we might find a weakness we can exploit." Tom Wu, the engineer, chimed in. "I can modify our sensors to detect their ships from a distance. It will give us an advantage." Mia nodded, appreciating her crew's creativity. "Excellent. Let's set up surveillance around the planet. I want to know if Korak is planning another attack." As they discussed their strategies, Maya felt the weight of leadership. She had always dreamed of exploring the stars, but now she was faced with a responsibility that felt heavier than any starship. She had to ensure her crew's safety and the safety of the colonists. It was a daunting task, but Mia was determined to rise to the challenge. As the hours passed, the crew worked tirelessly to prepare for the impending conflict. Tom modified the ship's systems while Sarah organized the defenses. Raj began studying the data from the attack, searching for clues that could lead to their next move. Just before dawn, the ship's sensors detected movement. "Captain," Sarah called, her voice urgent. "We've picked up several ships approaching Zorath 4. Mia's heart raced. "Are they Korak's forces?" Raj examined the data closely. "It looks like it. They're moving fast and appear to be heavily armed." "Sound the alarm," Mia ordered. "Everyone to their stations. We're not going to let them catch us off guard again." The crew moved swiftly, adrenaline pumping through their veins. Maya took her place at the command console, her heart pounding in anticipation. The survivors, now aware of the imminent danger, gathered in a secure area, fear etched on their faces. As the enemy ships came into view, Mia felt a sense of determination wash over her. They had come to help, and they would not back down. "All crew, prepare for combat. We need to protect these people." The alien ships descended from the sky, dark and menacing. They unleashed a volley of fire toward the Unity, and explosions erupted around them. The ship shook violently, but Mia held her ground. "Return fire. Aim for their engines." Tom's fingers flew over the controls, targeting the incoming ships. The Unity fired back, bright beams of energy shooting out into the darkness of space. One of the enemy ships exploded in a brilliant flash, lighting up the night sky. Maya felt a surge of hope as they struck back, but the enemy forces were relentless. More ships joined the battle, swarming around the Unity. "They're overwhelming us," Sarah shouted, her voice strained. "We need to maneuver." "Evasive maneuvers," Mia commanded, gripping the console tightly. "Keep us out of their line of fire." The Unity twisted and turned, dodging the enemy blasts. Mia's heart raced as she fought to maintain control, her mind focused on the task at hand. She could see the determination in her crew's eyes, and it fueled her resolve. "Tom, can you disable their shields?" she shouted. "I'll try," he replied, his voice steady despite the chaos. "Targeting now." With a deft touch, Tom redirected the ship's weapons. The Unity fired again, hitting the enemy ships where their shields were weakest. One by one, they began to falter, but the battle was far from over. Just as Mia thought they might gain the upper hand, a massive ship appeared on the horizon, dwarfing the others. It was Korak's flagship, a formidable sight that sent shivers down her spine. "There's their command ship," Raj exclaimed. "If we can take it down, we might turn the tide." Mia felt a mix of fear and determination. They were up against a powerful foe, but she refused to back down. "We have to target that ship. Everyone, focus your fire on Korak's flagship." The crew rallied together, their spirits ignited by Mia's command. They unleashed everything they had, the Unity glowing with energy as it charged toward the flagship. Explosions erupted around them, and Mia's heart raced with each passing moment. As they closed in on the enemy ship, the battle raged on around them. The crew fought fiercely, their resolve unwavering. They were not just fighting for survival, they were fighting for each other and the people of Zorath. Now, hit their engines. Mia shouted, her voice filled with determination. The Unity struck hard, and the flagship shuddered under the impact. It began to lose control, spiraling toward the planet. A wave of relief washed over Mia as she saw the enemy forces falter. The battle was turning in their favor. Victory is within reach, Raj shouted, a smile breaking through the tension. Mia's heart swelled with pride for her crew. They had faced unimaginable odds, and now they were on the brink of victory. But even in that moment of triumph, she knew they couldn't let their guard down. Korak would not be defeated easily. As the flagship crashed to the surface of Zorath, the remaining enemy ships began to retreat. Cheers erupted from the crew of the Unity, but Mia kept her focus. We need to secure the area and help the survivors. With the enemy forces in disarray, the crew began to assess the damage. The colony was still reeling from the attack, but hope blossomed anew. They had stood together against overwhelming odds, and they had won. Maya looked out over the devastated landscape, knowing that their fight was far from over. They had made a powerful enemy, but they had also forged an unbreakable bond. The crew of the Unity was ready for whatever challenges lay ahead, united in their mission to protect the innocent and explore the vast universe. As dawn broke over Zorath, the sun illuminated the ruins and the weary faces of the survivors. Maya stood tall, her heart filled with determination. This was only the beginning of their journey, and together they would face whatever came next. You said, regrouping and reinforcements. The battle on Zorath left the crew of the Unity both exhausted and exhilarated. The sun rose slowly over the horizon, casting a golden glow on the wreckage of the alien ships scattered across the surface. The air was heavy with smoke, but the cries of the wounded had quieted, replaced by a sense of cautious hope. Captain Mia Trent stood on the bridge, reviewing the damage sustained during the conflict. The ship had weathered the storm well, but it still needed repairs. Tom Wu, the chief engineer, worked tirelessly at the console, his fingers flying over the keys. We've got a few systems down, but nothing we can't handle, he reported. The shields took a hit, but we can get them back online soon. Mia nodded, her mind racing. They had won the battle, but Korak was still out there, and she knew he would not rest until he had vengeance. They needed to prepare for whatever came next. Good work, Tom. Let's prioritize the shields first. We need to be ready in case Korak tries to regroup. As Tom focused on repairs, Dr. Raj Patel entered the bridge, looking anxious. Captain, we need to assess the casualties and provide assistance to the survivors. They're in dire need of medical help and supplies. Mia turned her attention to Raj, recognizing the urgency in his voice. You're right. Let's organize a team to assist them. We can use the ship's medical bay to treat the wounded and provide shelter for those displaced. Already on it, Raj replied with a nod. I'll gather our medical personnel and prepare the supplies. As Raj left the bridge, Sarah Lopes entered, her expression serious. Captain, I've been monitoring communications. It looks like Korak is already rallying more forces. We need to move fast if we want to stay one step ahead. Mia felt her heart race. How much time do we have? Not long, Sarah replied, her brow furrowing. We need to send a message to Earth and request reinforcements. We can't face Korak alone. Mia considered this. The Unity was a formidable ship, but they were still outnumbered. Do it, Sarah. Send a distress signal to command. We need to inform them about what's happening here and request any available ships to assist us. Message sent, Sarah said, her voice steady. Now we wait. While they waited for a response, Mia gathered her crew in the main conference room. The atmosphere was tense, but there was a shared determination among them. Listen up, everyone, she began, her voice firm. We've achieved something incredible by defending this colony, but the fight is far from over. Korak will be back, and we need to be prepared. Raj spoke up, his voice calm but resolute. I suggest we fortify the colony while we treat the injured. We need to establish defenses and set up surveillance around the area to monitor any incoming threats. I agree, Tom added. We can repurpose some of the debris from the destroyed ships to create barricades and enhance our defenses. It won't be easy, but it can be done. Mia nodded, appreciating their creativity and teamwork. Let's divide into teams. One group will focus on the medical needs of the survivors, while the others work on fortifications. Sarah and I will scout the area and keep an eye out for any signs of Korak's return. As the crew dispersed, Maya felt a swell of pride. They were not just a crew, they were a family. They had fought together and survived, and now they were ready to face the unknown challenges ahead. Hours passed as the crew worked diligently to help the survivors and strengthen their defenses. Raj and his medical team set up triage areas to treat the wounded, offering care and compassion to those in need. Meanwhile, Tom and a group of engineers scavenged the wreckage, transforming it into makeshift barriers around the colony. As evening approached, Sarah and Mia returned to the Unity after a reconnaissance mission. I didn't see any sign of Korak's forces, Sarah reported, her eyes scanning the horizon. But we need to remain vigilant. He's not going to give up that easily. Mia sighed, feeling the weight of responsibility. I know. We must be prepared for anything. I just hope Command responds quickly to our message. Just as she spoke, a crackling sound echoed through the ship's communication system. Captain Trent, this is Command. We received your distress signal. Reinforcements are on the way. Expect 2 battle cruisers to arrive within the next few days. Mia's heart leaped with relief. Thank you, Command. We'll prepare for their arrival. We need every ship we can get to stand against Korak. Understood. Stay safe, Captain, the voice replied before the transmission cut off. The crew gathered in the conference room again, excitement buzzing in the air. We've got reinforcements coming, Mia announced, a smile spreading across her face. 2 battle cruisers are on their way to help us. Cheers erupted from the crew, the tension of the past few days momentarily lifting. This is great news, Tom exclaimed. We can finally take the fight to Korak. Raj raised his hand. We need to use this time wisely. We should train our personnel in ship-to-ship combat and prepare for any possible encounters with Korak's forces before the cruisers arrive. Mia nodded, appreciating his foresight. Good idea, Raj. Let's set up combat drills and review our tactics. We need to be ready to work alongside the reinforcements when they arrive. As the crew dispersed to begin training and preparations, Maya felt a renewed sense of purpose. They had fought bravely, and now they had the chance to turn the tide of the conflict. She glanced at the horizon, where the sun dipped below the edge of the world, casting a warm glow over Zorith 4. As night fell, the colony was alive with activity. The survivors had rallied together, helping the crew fortify their defenses and prepare for the battles to come. Mia watched as hope flickered in their eyes, and it fueled her determination. Over the next few days, the crew of the Unity trained tirelessly. They practiced maneuvers and strategized ways to take advantage of their resources. Each member contributed their skills, and Maya felt the bond among them grow stronger. Finally, on the 3rd day, the sensors aboard the Unity began to beep urgently. Captain, we've got incoming ships, Sarah shouted, her voice filled with urgency. Mia's heart raced as she hurried to the command console. Identify them. Tom worked quickly at the controls. It's the battle cruisers from Command. They're here. As the massive ships came into view, Mia felt a surge of relief. They had reinforcements, and they would not face Korak alone. Open a channel to the cruisers, she ordered. The communication came through, and a commanding voice filled the bridge. Captain Trent, this is Admiral Carter. We've come to assist you in your fight against Korak. What's the situation? Mia took a deep breath, ready to share everything they had encountered. Admiral, We've managed to repel one attack, but we expect Korak to return with greater forces. We need to strategize our defense and prepare for the next confrontation." "Understood," Admiral Carter replied. "We'll combine our forces and formulate a plan. We'll not only defend this colony, but also take the fight to Korak." As the Unity and the battle cruisers prepared for the impending confrontation, Mia felt a renewed sense of hope. Together, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead, united against the threat of Korak and his forces. The battle for Zorathor was far from over, but with their combined strength, they were ready to take a stand. The calm before the storm. As the Unity and the two battle cruisers settled into their positions around Zorathor, a sense of anticipation filled the air. Captain Mia Trent stood on the bridge, watching the ships align themselves in a defensive formation. The view from the command console showcased the colony below, bustling with activity as the crew and the survivors fortified their positions. Admiral Carter's strategy is solid, Maya thought, feeling a swell of pride for the crew's efforts. The communication lines buzzed with updates and plans, but there was a quiet undercurrent of anxiety that she could sense in her crew. They had won battles, but the weight of their next confrontation hung heavily over them. "Captain," Sarah Lopes called, drawing Mia's attention. "I've been monitoring the external sensors, but there's still no sign of Korak's fleet. It's strange. After the last battle, I expected them to come back with a vengeance." Mia turned to Sarah, concern etched on her face. "You're right. It is unusual. Perhaps they're regrouping or trying to strategize. We can't let our guard down. They'll strike when we least expect it." Dr. Raj Patil entered the bridge, his brow furrowed with concern. "Captain, I just finished treating the last of the injured survivors. We have done all we can for now, but I sense that they are uneasy. They need reassurance that we will protect them." Mia nodded, understanding the emotional toll this conflict had taken on everyone. "Let's hold a meeting with the survivors and the crew. We need to remind them that we are united and ready to fight. Together, we stand a better chance." As they gathered everyone in the main hall of the colony, Mia felt a wave of responsibility wash over her. The faces looking back at her were a mix of fear and determination. She cleared her throat, ready to speak. "Everyone, I know the past few days have been filled with uncertainty and fear. But today, we stand stronger than ever. We have reinforcements from the fleet, and together we will defend this colony against Korak's forces." A murmur of encouragement spread through the crowd, and Mia continued, "We have trained hard, and we are prepared for whatever comes next. We fight not just for ourselves, but for everyone in this colony. We will show them that humanity is not to be underestimated." As she spoke, she noticed a young boy clinging to his mother's leg, wide-eyed and frightened. Mia's heart ached for the innocent lives caught in the crossfire of this war. "We need to protect our future," she added, her voice strong. "For the children, for our families, and for each other." The crowd erupted in cheers, their spirits lifted. The unity among them was palpable, and Maya felt a renewed sense of hope. After the meeting, the crew dispersed to finalize their preparations. Each member knew their role, and Maya felt a sense of pride for her team. Over the next few days, the colony buzzed with activity. Engineers worked around the clock to enhance defenses, while the medical team prepared for potential casualties. Drills and simulations became part of their daily routine as they anticipated Korak's return. During this time, Maya took the opportunity to check in with her crew, particularly those who had fought valiantly in the last battle. She visited the engineering bay where Tom Wu was overseeing repairs. "How's everything holding up, Tom?" Maya asked, her tone casual but concerned. Tom looked up from his work, wiping sweat from his brow. "We're making progress, Captain. The Unity will be ready for battle when the time comes. I just wish we knew what Korak was planning." "Me too," Mia admitted, "but we need to stay focused. We can't afford to let doubt creep in." Later, Maya visited the medical bay to see Raj. He was tending to some minor injuries sustained during the last battle. "Captain, He greeted her with a tired smile. "We're ready for anything. The survivors are healing, and we have supplies stocked for the worst-case scenario." "Thank you, Raj. Your hard work is making a difference," Maya replied, her gratitude genuine. "I just wish we could give everyone more peace of mind. I know it's tough, but you're doing great." "The crew looks up to you," Raj said, his eyes sincere. "Just keep reminding them that they are not alone in this." As the days passed, the tension mounted. The calm before the storm felt heavy, and everyone remained on high alert. The colony continued to prepare, but the sense of impending conflict loomed like a dark cloud. One evening, as the sun set behind the distant hills, Maya found herself standing alone on the bridge, lost in thought. The vibrant colors of twilight filled the view screen, a stark contrast to the anxiety brewing in her mind. Suddenly, the sensors began to beep rapidly. "Captain, we've detected a large fleet approaching." Sarah's voice cut through the silence, electrifying the air with urgency. On screen, Mia ordered, her heart racing. The view showed Korak's fleet, a menacing collection of ships gliding through space, weapons primed and ready. Panic threatened to seize her, but she steadied herself. "Admiral Carter, report to the bridge," she commanded. As the Admiral joined her, his expression mirrored her concern. "It appears Korak is coming for us," he said, his tone serious. "We need to prepare for battle." Mia nodded, her resolve solidifying. "We've trained for this moment. Let's call everyone to their positions and prepare for engagement." With a renewed sense of purpose, the crew sprang into action. They moved swiftly, each member focused on their tasks. The atmosphere on the Unity shifted from tension to determination as the crew prepared for the fight ahead. Mia took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. "This is it," she thought. "We stand together, and we will show Korak the strength of humanity." As the crew rallied around her, Mia knew they were ready to face whatever the invaders had in store. The time for action had come, and they would not back down. The battle begins. The tension on the Unity was palpable as the crew prepared for the impending battle against Korak's fleet. Captain Mia Trent stood at the command console, her heart pounding as she surveyed the chaotic scene on the view screen. The ships of the Korak Armada loomed large, dark shadows against the backdrop of the stars, and their weapons glinted ominously in the dim light. "Status report, Sarah," Mia barked, her voice steady despite the fear swirling within her. "We're ready, Captain. All systems are operational. The crew is in position, and the weapons are primed," Sarah Lopes replied, her fingers flying across the console. "But they outnumber us significantly." Admiral Carter stepped forward, his face set in grim determination. "We can't let their numbers intimidate us. Remember our training. We've faced impossible odds before and come out on top." Mia nodded, feeling the surge of confidence from the Admiral's words. "Everyone, listen up. We have trained for this moment. We are fighting not just for ourselves, but for every human life on Zorath 4. We will show them the strength of humanity." A cheer erupted from the crew, their spirits lifted by her rallying cry. Mia could see the determination in their eyes, a fire ignited by the thought of defending their home. "Deploy the drones," Mia commanded, watching as small ships launched from the Unity, buzzing into space like angry hornets. They would serve as the first line of defense, giving the crew time to strategize their approach against the Korak ships. As the drones engaged, the Korak fleet responded with ferocity, firing their weapons. Bright bursts of energy illuminated the darkness, creating a dazzling but deadly light show. Mia clenched her fists, heart racing as she observed the scene unfolding on the view screen. "Focus fire on the nearest cruiser," she shouted. "Let's show them what we're made of." The Unity roared to life as it unleashed a barrage of missiles toward the enemy ship. The crew worked in unison, their training kicking in as they executed maneuvers they had practiced countless times. The missiles struck true, and the Korak cruiser erupted in a brilliant explosion, sending debris scattering into space. Direct hit. We've taken out their first ship, Sarah exclaimed, her excitement infectious. But Korek's response was swift. The remaining ships fired back, and Maya felt the vibrations of impacts through the hull. Shields holding at 80%, reported Lieutenant James Reyes from the engineering station, his face tense as he monitored the readings. Divert all power to the shields, Mia commanded. We need to withstand their fire. The Unity absorbed the hits, but Mia could see the shields flickering. Prepare to launch our fighters, she said, her voice steady despite the mounting chaos. We need to create openings for our main cannons. As the squadron of fighter ships launched, Mia could see them weaving in and out among the Korek ships, engaging in dogfights that erupted like fireworks in the night sky. The fighters were nimble, darting around enemy fire and using their speed to their advantage. Captain, we have incoming ships from the left, Sarah warned, her eyes wide with alarm. They're trying to flank us. Redirect fire to those ships. We can't let them surround us. Mia yelled, adrenaline coursing through her veins. The Unity turned sharply, bringing its weapons to bear on the incoming Korek vessels. As they fired, Maya felt a mix of fear and exhilaration. This was it, the moment she had prepared for. Fighter Squadron 2, engage those flanking ships, Mia ordered, watching as the pilots responded with skill, zipping in and out of enemy fire while returning fire with their laser cannons. The battle raged on, with explosions illuminating the darkness of space. Each hit was a reminder of the stakes. Every victory came with the cost of lives. The crew was working tirelessly, their faces a mix of determination and fear as they pushed through the chaos. Captain, we're losing fighters, Sarah shouted, panic creeping into her voice. Stay focused. We can't give up now, Maya replied firmly, her heart heavy as she watched her squadron take hits. Just then, the view screen showed something unexpected. A massive Korek flagship, larger than anything they had encountered, was moving into position, its guns charging ominously. Admiral, we need to divert our attention to that flagship, Mia exclaimed. If we don't take it out, they'll overpower us. Agreed, Admiral Carter replied, his voice resolute. Sarah, can we launch a concentrated assault on that ship? We can try, but we need to regroup the fighters and the drones for an all-out attack, Sarah said, her fingers dancing over the controls. Do it. Let's rally everyone for one final push, Mia commanded, a fire igniting in her heart. As they organized their forces, Maya felt a surge of hope. This battle was far from over, but they were not done fighting. The crew's spirits were high, and she could see the determination etched on their faces. Prepare for the assault, she yelled, her voice booming over the chaos. We fight together, and we will show the Korek what humanity is capable of. With a loud cheer, the crew responded, and Maya felt the unity of their spirit. They were ready. They would face whatever came next, and they would do it as one. The Unity moved into position, its weapons primed and ready for the fight of their lives. The battle had just begun, and Mia was determined to lead her crew to victory. The turning tide. As the Unity maneuvered into position, Captain Mia Trent felt a rush of adrenaline coursing through her veins. The Korek flagship loomed ahead, a behemoth of dark metal and menacing firepower. This was it, the moment that would define humanity's place in the galaxy. Captain, we have grouped all remaining fighters and drones, reported Sarah Lopes, her face illuminated by the flickering lights of the control panel. We're ready for a coordinated assault on the flagship. Excellent. Let's make this count, Maya replied, her eyes focused on the view screen. Everyone, listen up. We're going to launch everything we have at that ship. Stay sharp and stay together. A loud cheer erupted from the crew, and Maya felt the energy in the airshift. This was more than just a battle. It was a fight for their future. Fighters, form up on my command, Mia ordered, her heart pounding with anticipation. Prepare to engage on my mark. The Korak flagship began to charge its weapons, the energy building in its cannons. Mia knew they had little time. Now, engage. The Unity and its squadron launched their assault simultaneously. Missiles streaked through space, and laser fire illuminated the darkness. The fighters swarmed around the flagship, their nimble forms dodging incoming blasts as they peppered the enemy with fire. Mia watched intently, her heart racing as the first missiles struck the flagship's shields. The explosion illuminated the dark void, and for a moment, hope surged through her. Direct hit. Their shields are weakening, Sarah shouted, her voice filled with excitement. Keep the pressure on. We can't let up now. Mia yelled, adrenaline surging. The crew rallied together, their focus unwavering as they targeted the flagship. But just as victory seemed within reach, the flagship retaliated. Its weapons unleashed a powerful volley of fire, and the view screen flashed with bursts of energy. Shields holding at 60%. Lieutenant Rice reported, his voice strained as he monitored the systems. We need to redirect power. Redirect all non-essential systems to shields. Mia commanded, her voice steady despite the panic rising in her chest. We can't lose our defenses now. The Unity shuddered under the impacts, and Maya felt the vibrations travel through the deck. The flagship was powerful, but they were fighting for their survival. Fighter Squadron 1, break left. Squadron 2, engage from the right. Mia ordered, strategizing quickly. We need to flank them. The fighters responded, splitting into two groups to surround the flagship. Maya's heart raced as she saw their formation come together, their movements synchronized like a well-oiled machine. As they pressed the attack, Mia's mind raced with strategies and possibilities. They had to exploit the flagship's weaknesses. Sarah, can you scan for any vulnerable points on the flagship? She asked urgently. Scanning now, Sarah replied, her fingers flying over the controls. I see it. There's a power conduit near the rear. If we hit it hard enough, we could overload their systems. Perfect. Let's coordinate our fire on that spot. Mia shouted, feeling the surge of determination. Fighters, listen up. Aim for the rear of the flagship on my mark. With her crew ready, Mia took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. Now, fire at will. The Unity unleashed a torrent of missiles, and the fighters followed suit, their laser cannons blazing. The missiles struck true, impacting the power conduit with a brilliant explosion. The flagship shuddered violently, and Mia watched as the damage spread across its hull. We've hit it. Their systems are failing, Sarah exclaimed, her voice full of exhilaration. Keep pushing. We can't give them a chance to recover. Mia yelled, adrenaline pumping through her body. The Korak flagship fought back desperately, but its defenses were faltering. The crew of the Unity seized the moment, launching a relentless assault that pushed the enemy to the brink. Admiral, what are your orders? Maya asked, glancing at Admiral Carter, who stood resolute beside her. Let's finish this. Concentrate all fire on that power conduit. We can't let them regroup, the Admiral replied, his voice steady. Mia nodded, focusing on the flagship as it began to weaken further. All ships, target the power conduit. This is our chance. The Unity and the fighters converged on the damaged area, their weapons blazing with renewed vigor. Explosions erupted as they fired, sending shockwaves through the battlefield. Mia could feel the tension in the air, the fate of the battle hanging in the balance. Come on, she muttered, her eyes glued to the view screen. Then, with a final, massive explosion, the flagship erupted into a dazzling fireball, engulfing everything in its path. The shockwave rippled through space, and Maya felt a rush of exhilaration and disbelief. Flagship destroyed. We did it, Sarah shouted, her voice filled with joy. Cheers erupted from the crew as they celebrated their victory. The Korak fleet began to scatter, their morale shattered by the loss of their flagship. Pursue the remaining ships, Mia commanded, her heart swelling with pride. Let's show them that humanity is not to be underestimated. As the Unity chased down the fleeing ships, Maya felt a sense of triumph. They had fought against all odds and emerged victorious. Humanity had proven itself to be a force to be reckoned with, and this battle would mark a turning point in their fight for survival in the galaxy. "Prepare for any possible counterattack," Maya said, her voice steady. "We can't let our guard down yet. We need to be ready for anything." The crew nodded, their spirits high as they continued their pursuit. Maya felt a sense of hope wash over her. They had shown the galaxy the true strength of humanity, and they would continue to fight together.